get it.
Okay. Do the clap.
Who's going to speak first?
I will.
Okay.
Alright boys, thanks for coming in today. I think you're probably wondering why Reed and I are here for Finn's masterclass. I think it's good to know that me and Reed and Finn all came from like the same background where we live in Australia. And I think it's important to know that community is everything. I think I didn't know Finn before really well, and I didn't know Reed at all, but we all met through social media. So I think Reed's going to give an introduction about himself, and then I'll give an introduction about myself, and then we'll kind of lay it out.
Yeah, so essentially when I started making content, it was back in an area where not a lot of people had made content or like even knew what a personal brand was in the past. But for me, I knew that I wanted more from my life. I was working at a pool chemical shop, so just selling like chlorine bottles to old people and stuff like that, which obviously wasn't something that I saw myself doing long term. And I knew that I needed to take a risk in order to change my life. But the first risk I took honestly wasn't to jump straight into personal branding. It was to quit my job and go into another job, which was a bit more comfortable. I was doing disability support for around 6 months and enjoyed that a bit more. But again, I realized that I was going to hit a ceiling with what do I really want to achieve? And obviously I had another person in my local area, which was Finn, growing his personal brand. I saw him going around the world with people like Alfie, meeting like the Raw Dog Boys, if any of you are familiar. And that's kind of when it flipped a switch in my brain that if somebody from the same area as me is achieving all these goals, what's stopping me from doing the exact same thing? So of course I reached out, fell into the world of content creation and personal branding. And shortly after I was introduced to several people, Jake being one of them, Ethan Ewan, if anyone know, being another. The first time I met Jake was actually at 4:30 a.m. in my driveway when somebody else told me he was creating content. Obviously there weren't many others aside Finn. So of course I jumped at it. I was like, sure, this is the only other guy creating content. I'll hop in a car with him, we'll drive to Bondi at 5 a.m. to meet Finn and a few others. So we ended up, really, really hitting it off because, no one else made content. It was the only guy I could relate to. And I remember, telling him 6 months ago when we were sitting in that cafe in Bondi that in 6 months' time we would have huge personal brands. Obviously we had no idea how we were going to get there, but the idea and having someone there was enough for us to really get going. So I guess that's kind of a backstory of how we met, how I got into it, and why we're doing this thing now.
Yeah, I think it's also important to know that me and Reed both started out at 0 followers. We started brand new accounts. We both had private accounts over 2,000 followers. But at the time, I was at 600 followers, Reed was at 300, and I actually stopped because I got peer pressured by my friends and I didn't feel like I was accepted. So I actually stopped and Reed kept going. And then Reed moved to Bali, and from him moving to Bali, I saw what the potential was by him growing, and then I soon followed after him. And then through this, I've been able to connect through Finn, where I actually got onto a call with Finn and I said, all I really want to do is be able to provide value to a table that people will value me for me. And I saw that opportunity was through content creation, not having any skills prior. I work in marketing and I'm a captain, so nothing really that would be able to help Finn out. But then I saw the opportunity through content creation, through taking the business perspective, rather than looking at it from an influencer standpoint, I think was the best decision I made. And I think it's allowed me to now open up doors. So that's a bit about my backstory. And today we're going to show you how to grow literally 30,000 followers in 30 days once you master the structure. Of course, me and Reed didn't grow that fast. But if we did start it today, we would know how. And I'm going to show you because I've done it just here. 30,000 followers, and you can see in the time frame up here exactly how I did this. This change only happened from a simple change that I did in structure, which is storytelling. Now me and Reed have both been given the opportunity to not only be a coach inside of Amplify, Alfie, who's going to be speaking today, but Alfie has also just invested into our other business where we're launching a creator community with Alfie invested into it. So I think it's important to know that in this day and age, when it comes to personal branding, it's about, yes, you can gain followers and yes, you can grow very fast, but it really comes down to the structure and how you're implementing it. I know a lot of you guys have checked out your account and a lot of you are kind of posting for the sake of posting without any intent, without any clear direction of where you're wanting to take this, or you're lacking the personality. There's one or the other. And today we're going to break down exactly how you tie them together and really how we've done it ourselves. I think just a bit of like background of like just like personal branding, what it does. So I think when it comes to personal branding, because we're looking at all from a business perspective, the fastest way to grow an authentic brand is to jump into your analytics. I didn't do this at the start. And the reason why I grew 30,000 followers in a month, in literally, I think it was 6 days, I grew 30,000 followers because I understood the analytics, the algorithm, and who I was literally talking to and how to convert low amount of views into followers. So we're gonna break down in each individually how to really like build trust through the analytics and what to look for when you're posting your reels, how to tell, okay, this analytic is a good reel, I should double down on this, or this is a bad reel, I'm not gonna double down. So first of all, storytelling builds trust at scale.
Jake, I will cut you off 1 minute, I will change batteries and then you can start like writing.
All good, bro.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But you get it on record, bro.
Yeah, bro, I'll be offered if we go to record.
Thought someone was asking a question. I was like, fuck, coming in hot with the
Yeah,
questions.
We want questions. If you guys have got questions, shoot your hand up like
Really?
instantly.
Let's do a clap and we can
Yeah.
get it over.
There's gonna be a lot of shit that we're gonna go through
Yeah,
in
so
terms
we're
of
gonna run
storytelling.
some- yeah,
like
it'll be a
it'll be
lot.
hard to hold on to the questions the whole time. So if you have one, just like immediately hand up so we can get it and then we can keep moving.
Yeah, sweet. Alright. Wait, good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so firstly we need to look at the views. Now the reason why we look at these views is because we really need to understand how many views you're getting per follower. And you need to see how many people watching your views are really actually converting to followers. So from here, I break down 2 of my reels that I posted 2 months ago, right? Now, the importance of this is to look at the view to follower ratio. So in one of them, you can see I have 516,000 views. Now, yes, that's a lot of views, don't get me wrong. But for the amount of followers that I got from this reel, which is 24,000 followers, it's to show you that you don't need a 10 million viewed video to do this. Now, I also posted this video at the exact same time another creator in Bali posted it. His video, he didn't post storytelling structure, he posted a viral, non-related ICP video. It got him 2 million views, got him 300 followers. Now, I have gone, as you can see here, the conversion rate from the views to follower ratio is 4.75%. Anything over 2% is something that all of you should be taking note of. 2% is something that, if you're converting from a 2% scale point, anything above that's a win, essentially. So for every single person 20 people that viewed it, I gained 1 follower. So 20 views to 1 follower, which is like think how many views you guys get. Imagine if you guys had 1 follower for every 20 views. Like, it's a lot. And so it's the same conversion rate with this. Again, this is a 3.2%. So this is 50,000 views, 1,600 followers. Again, it's over 2%, so this is the calculation. I'm going to share this with you after so you know how to calculate the followers. What I would do is I would go down and break out every single reel. When I was trying to grow, I was so about it. I tracked every single reel, every single metric, and I looked at every single reel and I broke down, okay, why is this video converting better followers? And then I would break down again how I can improve on the next video. And I'm going to show you today how you can do that. And basically, like I said, it comes down to personality or structure. So that's how storytelling builds trust at scale. Any questions on that? Just for this section. Okay. Now retention time. This is super important because a lot of you guys have videos that are like POV, this is the lifestyle. POV, I work from my laptop. POV, I grind at night. And this is super, super good stuff. And these have like very high watch rate, but you also need to look at your more like personal videos because you're not just going to be posting these viral videos all the time. You're going to be posting personal talking head videos, like I'd hope so. And so you need to actually look at the average watch time and how that's converting into it. So as you can see here, this is a video that had 82,000 views. And so off the watch time, it was the whole video, I think I wrote it down here, 25-second video, 14-second per watch time. So this is, for every person that's watching my reel, they're watching it for 14 seconds, they're not going away to 25. To be honest, this metric will never ever say like past 10%. It's just not gonna happen. You're never gonna have a watch time reel that's 20 seconds out of a 25-second reel. It's just not gonna happen. So you need to look at conversion anything above 50%, of course. Like we want 50%, we don't want lower. Like why would we go lower than 50% when we may as well just be 50% in the first place? So I was looking at all my reels and I was going, okay, so this reel is getting me above 50%. Why is it that it was getting me above 50%? 90% of the time came down to the hook. The hook is everything. And so as soon as I realized that, I'm going to break down how to tailor a good hook in this video, I realized that that's going to enhance my watch time. And then over time, the more people that watch your video in a longer period of time for the average watch time gets boosted in the algorithm. So if I scroll into Noel's Reels for 1 second, I look at it and I scroll, that watch time average is going to actually trigger in the algorithm that I'm not watching. It's not going to get boosted. But if I scroll it onto Finn's video and I watched it for 10 seconds rather than 1, that's a boost in the algorithm. Instant boost in the algorithm. And it's so important to understand the watch time because then you can break down the analytics of, okay, this is a high watched video. Okay, now I know where to take the next video because it's getting a lot of views. So as you can see here, I broke it down, I'm not gonna break it down for you right now, but for 90 days in total, the total watch time for the video, 14 seconds, that's a 65% average retention. And I would say that's like a pretty good winning video. I think this video itself got like 1,000 follows. So that's how the retention trust time, and that's why you need to look at that. And the final one is to look at the non-followers to follower ratio. So when you post a reel on Instagram, is it 10% straight to your current audience, 90% to the new audience?
Yeah, in terms of
Yeah. So when you post a reel, it's instantly no matter what. And this is why I think also when you're starting out, you guys are all trying to create like this high level production videos because you all have editors, for example. But when I first started, I was creating quality over quantity. I mean, quantity over quality, because I saw it as a way of how many reps can I get on the board and how many chances can I have to blow up. Now, there's two ways you can look at this. I think Finn's built an absolute amazing brand tailored to his ICP based off quality, but I took the quantity approach because I was talking from a documenting standpoint. Now, I'm also going to get into that after, but so I saw it as like, okay, I'm trying to get as many runs on the board here. I'm trying to reach as many non-followers as possible. And every time you post a reel, it goes instantly to 90% of non-followers. Trial reels, yes, 100% non-followers. So I would also spam trial reels, as Finn mentioned before. But 90% non-followers. So I was posting 2 to 3 times a day for 6 months straight. The reason why I did that is because I was so about it. I quit my job and I went all in. I deferred to uni. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking make this work. So I was all about, now that's a lot. I say 1 video a day is absolutely fine, but I looked at it like this, like I'm trying to target 90% people instantly. The more runs I get on the board, the more chance it gets to get boosted. And as soon as a video does well, what happens is it gets hit to 90% of your current audience onto the non-followers, plus the 10% of your current audience. So if your current audience engaged on the video instantly, you're being proactive about it. That's why I recommend don't scheduling your reels to be instantly engaging with comments, with interactions, just straight away, because that 10% is going to boost the current audience. Now, when it hits the 90% and hits the 10% from there, it's your best chance of success of getting the video off like whatever it is onto the For You page. And then this is kind of just breaking down how here it's a 97% watch rate. So I would say like at the moment, I'm seeing a lot of the analytics are like 70-30. So 70% non-followers, 30% current audience. If you're sitting around there, you're doing well. If you're not, then I would like look at what I've told you at the end of this PowerPoint and be like, okay, why am I not getting there? And yeah, that's kind of the breakdown. They're the 3 metrics that I think is super important to look at from the start. Any questions?
I usually have like a higher follower rate than non-follower rates. How do you boost like a non-follower rate?
So that's essentially would come down to, it's just not hitting the For You page.
Yeah.
It's just like hitting your current audience. But you told me before that you're hitting a Swedish audience, right? So it's not getting out. So I would give it 2-3 weeks, see what happens with these trial reels, see what happens when it boosts up, and just come back to your page in like 3 weeks time. If you're still not getting it above that, like if you're still not getting it, let's say like 50-50, right? Like let's say right now you're sitting at 60%, 40%. Then you have to, then it's a real issue. Like it's literally just a content issue. Your content's just, unfortunately, just like not good enough.
Yeah.
You just got hit. But we're gonna show you today how to like make good content. But I've seen your content right now. I know it's fire. I think just trial the 3-week trial period, see how much new followers you get from the trial reels, and like getting new styles of personality content out there. I reckon will pick up.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, it reads up now.
So the reason we kind of looked over all these stats with you is because storytelling content hits all three of these pillars perfectly. Like it will help you build trust because you're being authentic about telling a story. It'll create that retention and watch time because you're taking people through a journey on your content. And obviously if it is engaging, you're telling a great story with great B-roll, with a great voiceover, it's going to reach non-followers because again, it's engaging. That's why storytelling as a format of content is exactly what you need to be doing to hit all three pillars at once. Obviously there are different formats of content, but in my experience in growing my personal brand, Jake's also, telling stories regardless of the situation is going to be the best format for hitting everything across the board. And obviously these, I don't know if you can zoom in, are the kind of opportunities of people who have told stories from 0 to like 10,000. Obviously here are some testimonials based on a community that me and Jake like work and coach in. But the whole point of me kind of breaking that down is that storytelling is a skill, just like learning any other piece of content. And with consistency will come the reward. Just like getting better at sport, getting better at anything, the more you practice a certain format of video, the sharper it will be in terms of the color grading, the editing, the B-roll selection, your overall voiceover. It is a skill. And obviously you've seen our personal brand. Just here's kind of a breakdown of the others that have, taken inspiration from our storytelling knowledge. But the one thing that you can all take away is that you don't need to be an expert to tell a story, right? The real reward, like I said, comes with perfecting the storytelling format itself. Like you guys can put the reps in just like any other piece of content, and then in time, and honestly in short time, it will yield big results. You can harness your unique experience, either documenting your journey or framing yourself as an authority. I don't think, and this is a personal opinion, that you need to be either a documenter or an authority. A way I like to explain it is like, let's just say you're a national level sprinter, right? You can still document your journey up to the Olympics, becoming a world level sprinter. You'll still be an authority to everyone below you. Like a local level sprinter, a guy who just runs for fun and a guy who sits on the couch. They're all gonna respect the level that you've gotten to. And the fact that you're documenting to go higher doesn't mean that you're not an authority in that space, right? No one here is the absolute best at anything. Like Noel said in the last presentation, Cristiano Ronaldo is always trying to improve, get better. So if the people at the very pinnacle of what they do still are trying to get better, why can't you guys also? It just brings that level of authority and trust and real connection that you're a real person. You're not just, I know what I'm doing, do this, do this. That's where the storytelling comes in the documenting area. So it doesn't need to be so black and white.
Alright, do we go now?
Yeah, that's right. I can cover some types of storytelling content. So again, there are multiple ways to tell a story. One that I specifically like to use is a daily vlog. Something key about these is obviously some people see them as like casual, but the thing they do really well is connect and give people that front row seat to your life and your emotions. The purpose is to create a consistent real-time storyline your audience can follow. The key for these is not documenting exactly what you're doing. So like, let's just say you went for a run, you got an apple, you're not gonna say, I put my shoes on and went for a run. People can see what you're doing. It's more about showing the emotions and your genuine thoughts on what you're doing, because that's going to create, a different layer to the content. Like they want to feel what you're feeling, they want to feel the emotions, they want to see what you actually think, rather than just like I went to the fridge and like got an apple and ate the apple, which is a serious problem I see with people making vlogs. It's like they can already see it, they don't want to hear it as well. This works because, the familiarity of consistently showing up in your day-to-day life, giving your thoughts on what you're doing, builds the trust and it'll deepen the connection with your audience. The key, like I said, to making a good vlog is just to avoid narrating, because that's just going to make it feel fake. It's going to make it feel like it's scripted. But imagine you're just like sending a voice note to a friend about, what you're doing, like you send him a Snapchat. That's the best way to think about each B-roll clip, and like pretend you're sending it to a friend rather than just like narrating exactly what it is. That is kind of the daily vlog. Then we've got a documentative series, which Jake actually is probably better at covering, considering this is what grew him 30,000 followers in the 10 days span.
So when I joined, when I originally started content, I was all fitness orientated. I sold fitness offers and took the authority approach in the fitness, because like I trained in the gym and I kind of knew what to do. But then I realized after coaching people that like I really don't care about getting people abs. And then I soon realized that, okay, I don't really have any other skills. So I spoke to Zidane actually about it, and he was like, look, are you providing any more value on the fitness anymore? I said no. He's like, okay, so you need to document something. You trying to achieve a goal, or you trying to achieve an outcome? Now, at the time, I moved to Bali, literally to grow my account. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna set like a follower goal, because like not many people were doing it at the time. And I was like, you know what, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna set a big follower goal. I'm gonna set it so unachievable and take this documenting approach where I literally document my day-to-day life of me trying to achieve this goal. Now, it can be a follower goal, it can be you growing to 100 million in your business, it can be you retaining clients, it can be literally you walking around the world. Like, it can be any type of goal. But the reason why I saw the series as a great opportunity is because it provides structure and it's bingeable content. If your series is entertaining, it has a goal that other people want to achieve, and you also provide like some type of experience throughout your day, but also provide like knowledge to people. So that's where Reed was saying you can be a documenter and be an authority, which we'll get into. But I had no skill and I had nothing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna document me growing to 50,000 followers. And I did this series called Stories to Startups, where I basically documented my day-to-day life of the behind the scenes and every day of me trying to grow my personal brand, really. I set this unattainable goal, and at first it sucked. It was so hard. Like, I had no structure, no format. But I slowly realized that, like, again, every person that is trying to grow online, like the biggest creators, a lot of them are just setting series and just trying to achieve them goals. Alfie, let's say for example, 75 hard day series started his account. He then achieved 75 hard, grew a mass following off, I think it was 100K followers in like, I don't even know, like 3 months or something ridiculous. Then he took that position and he shifted, because he was a documenter, into the authority selling 75 hard. And that's currently where I'm at right now. So the reason why I think a documenting series is good, because it provides clear stakes and progress markers. If you're documenting the journey every single day or on a weekly schedule, it allows people to connect with you, and then when you reach that goal, it gives you that level of authority. So if you don't have the authority in the space already, I would highly recommend it. Or if you do have the authority in the space already, you can still run a series, but also be providing value when you're documenting this series. And then, yeah, that's kind of the reason. And then like on day 28, I just structured all my stories. Then I just had one video that blew. And I always like say, when you're doing a documenting series, I've worked with a lot of people that are doing it right now, and they're absolutely crushing it. The first video, if you do it right through the structure that I give you, it will blow up. And then throughout, it will stagnate. And then towards the end, the suspension has built from you like getting towards the end of the goal, it's gonna blow up again. So it has a very high chance of doing very well if you structure it correctly. And if your goal is, I would say, quote unquote, delusional. Like I set a very delusional goal to hit 50,000 followers. I only did that because I wanted 10K. And I walked away with like almost at 40K now. So I didn't hit the goal, but it didn't matter, because like it was me documenting the series and it was me progressing towards that goal. And I set it for a timed date. And the reason why I set it a timed date is for that exact reason, to build tension towards that, to see if I was going to hit it or not. And like, yeah, it's kind of like what happened with me, and it's kind of what I'm doing again. I just repurposed the series and took the authority approach, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, perfect. Just before I move on to the piece to camera, I do want to say that the best two types of storytelling content are in fact a documentative series and what we're just about to cover, which is a My Story video. But before I get into that, I'll just quickly touch on piece to camera. These are more direct and simple. It's just you and the lens. I think something important is to genuinely be authentic about what you're trying to display. Obviously, the piece to camera can vary depending on the goal you actually want to achieve with the video. But the reason these work in a storytelling format is because they feel personal and like they feel unfiltered. Like, you don't need to edit these heavily. They can be like auto caption based videos. It's just a really, really good way to connect with your audience. You can also be authoritative with these. Like, you can give value and stuff. As long as you're just speaking directly to the camera without, any fancy equipment, any fancy edits, people will make it feel like you're talking to them. And that's important even when you're delivering value. They're really good for, looking confident, giving people clarity, but a strong hook is still important, because at the end of the day, if you're scrolling and you see someone's face, like unless it's The Rock, no one really gives a fuck, right? If you're just scrolling, you need to have, something there to hook people in, and then go into the casual value sort of thing. But yeah.
What would you say the best hook is you see in piece to cam?
In terms of a piece to cam, obviously, because there's going to be no B-roll clip at the front 90% of the time, it's normally just the sentence, right? So like the voiceover that you actually use. So like, there's no way this actually happened. With pieces to camera, obviously, because you're not using the B-roll, you have to, make up for it in terms of, your vocal, because that's it. That is the hook. It can be on screen as well with the captions, but in terms of clip, there will be none. So it's pretty much as enthusiastic as you can go with the voiceover. I can't emphasize that enough across every bit of storytelling content. You need to ramp up your voiceovers to like 300%. Because I promise when you record it and you actually put it in whatever editing software, it dampens it down to like 50% of what you thought it was. Like, really, really push the boundaries of what you think is cringe when you're doing a voiceover, because I promise it's going to take it right back down to a regular level.
Amazing. Can I run this?
Yeah, sure. All right, so the importance of a My Story video. These are absolutely important. Here are 3 examples, obviously Finn's, Jake's, and myself. The thing about these is that one, there's a documentative series you can do, but there's also another style of storytelling you can do. You can do a one-off My Story video. So it's essentially, instead of documenting towards a goal, you just make a one-off video kind of describing your life, your history, your goals. My journey, like here, was specifically catered around me leaving my 9 to 5, moving to Bali, going all in. So obviously it was more of a one-off, just this is my life, these are like what I overcame and this is where I want to go. I think it was around like 40 seconds. The importance of having one of these and putting them out quite constantly is having it pinned to the top of your profile. Because obviously there's top of funnel content, right? There's viral content that you guys can be putting out, which the goal is to get people to visit your account, right? And check it out. But if you don't have something there for people to watch, right? There's no cohesion. When people land on my profile from my top of funnel content, like random like Bali edits or lifestyle blogs, if they came to the profile and they just saw those scattered around, there's not really a sense of like who I am other than my bio or maybe my profile photo. But having my journey post pinned means when people land on my page, they're watching that video. Like obviously you make a cool design like the ones you see here so people are inclined to click on it. And obviously they're visiting your profile, then they're watching a 45-second video on you, your whole life, your struggles, your challenges, and your goals. Do you think they'd be more inclined to follow after watching that video, or just if they came to a random page with a bunch of scattered shit everywhere? This is why I think the importance of a My Story video is essential across every niche, across every business, because it gives everyone a sense of who you are, what you want to achieve, and what you've overcome in the past. So it's going to be relevant for business, relevant for fitness coaches, relevant for people growing personal brands. If there's one thing you take away from today is that if you don't have one of these pinned, it is absolutely top priority, because you can adjust your My Story or My Journey to whatever your business model is or what it wants to be. But that is the biggest lever you can pull in just attracting more followers, because no matter how many other videos you post, if you don't have that there, you're not going to retain as many once they visit the profile. So leading on from that, we have kind of how to grow your first 10,000 followers. Obviously, I just kind of touched on the top of funnel content kind of thing. So an example here is just a pretty clean, easy Bali edit, right? Just high quality camera clips, super chill. Obviously, this is just to go viral. They're easily replicable. There are formats like POVs, trends, memes, skits, or a short montage. These produce high views. The hooks can gain mass attention, especially if the trend is hot, and they can have a chance to go mega viral, which is like absolutely insane. The problem with these is they don't build deep trust, right? They're just there, they look cool, people are entertained by it, but they're not really bought into you specifically. They're just bought into the video. They think the video is entertaining, but they know nothing about you. And an important thing to realize here is that the engagement you get from these videos do not translate into loyal followers. Of course, you're getting more eyes on your page, which again is where the My Story / My Journey post comes in to really start converting them. The purpose of these is to get eyeballs on your page. Think of it like a billboard, like it's loud, right? It's flashy, but it doesn't really show much about you. And then we've got middle of funnel content. Obviously, these are when you're starting to bring in heaps of people from your top of funnel, all the viral content that you guys are posting. Here's where you start speaking directly to your ICP. So for me, that's people who want to start building personal brands. So essentially what I do in my middle of funnel content is I help people overcome the objections that they're struggling with when they started. And the way I think about that is what I struggled with when I started. So for me, this was only 6 months ago. So I kind of wrote down a document, what would I have liked, to see on Instagram, like to help me get to my goal of growing a personal brand. And the thing about these is you need to put an aspect of storytelling in them. You want to insert your personality, because you don't want to just be straight value, like this is how to grow your personal brand, like do this, do this. People don't connect with that. So in my videos personally, I insert a lot of personality, like I'll wear crazy glasses, like I'll backflip or something, I'll say some random shit. Having your personality and delivering value shows that, you're a person too. You're a person with value to give rather than just a robot that just straight delivers like do this, do this, do this. This will build trust, and this will get your audience to resonate with you. Voiceovers are absolutely key across every storytelling video. Of course, there are different formats, but a voiceover really completes the holistic picture of who you are. Like if they can see your face, hear your story, and hear your voice and emotions, that's how you're going to get them to connect, even if you're delivering value. And you want these value videos to be entertaining, because no one's going to stick around and just listen to a list of do this, do this. These can be text-based, but in my opinion, speaking on camera is probably more important to really create that depth. It takes people from being a random creator to this person actually understands me and my struggles, and I can see who he is as a person. He's funny, he does his own shit. This guy's a real guy who can help. It shifts just attention to trust and showing the viewer that you're a real guy, essentially. Do you want to jump on bottom of funnel?
Yeah. I just also want to say, like, as I mentioned before, when I first started, I was posting very consistently a lot. And I was just running the system of top of funnel content and bottom of funnel content at the time because I was targeting an ICP, but I basically didn't have like any value to really provide. So I looked at it like from an Australian audience standpoint. Again, I always tied it back to the analytics. When's my content and when's my viewer going to be really engaging in my account? I always saw that Monday, Sunday, Wednesday were like the best times where I had the most engagement. So my best videos would go there. But what I would also do is I would also see a spike at 6 p.m. rather than 6 a.m. But I also saw that 6 a.m. was still an important time. So I would run, for me personally, when I was providing quantity, I would do 6 a.m. would be a viral top of funnel content. That's why I get a post out. It should literally take you no longer than what? How long?
For a top of funnel.
Yeah.
These are the shortest videos you'll make. Like,
Reed
if
posted
you
this
have a good
yesterday.
system, you could have like 1 hour and a half an hour. Like this video here that's pinned on the thing, it took me maybe like 25-30 minutes to make. Like it's going to scale to like 200,000 views purely because of just the ease of it, right? Like it's efficient, like it's good, it's getting everything you want in there for a top of funnel viral piece of content. It's not delivering value, but it's getting the job done. Like you have to combine all areas of the funnel to actually convert people. And this, if you get good at top of funnel, like the followers are going to come regardless of how well your audience is trusting you. It's essential. And in a second, I'll break down kind of how to understand like which viral top of funnel contents like that you can steal from other people and create for yourself.
Yeah. And that's why I ran the bottom funnel content at night, because the bottom funnel content for me was my series. And so it connected more on a personal level. So I looked at the analytics of when people are really online, and then I would really tailor it to that, because again, the top of funnel content has any chance to go viral or it has every chance to flop. Like out of every video that I post, out of 10, like one would do well, the rest would just flop, because it's just like people either connect with it or they don't connect with it. And a lot of you right now are probably posting top of funnel content, the POV shots, the like this is like the life of like an influencer in like 10-15 second like type viral videos. The bottom funnel content is the one that converts the views to the followers. My followers that you saw that has 24,000 views, that's bottom funnel content. Now, what is actually bottom funnel content? Well, this is like ready to buy content. This like speaks directly to the followers. So like I would personally look at it from like when I was documenting the journey, it was basically like touching on like who I am, what I'm about, what I'm trying to achieve, and like where I'm trying to go. It like breaks the pain points. So I always tied it to pain points. Like top of funnel content is just virality content. There's no pain, there's no relatability there. And so I was creating bottom funnel content relatable to me that other people I knew would connect on. And that's why the conversion was so good from views to followers, because people were like, oh, this guy, I've always wanted to grow Instagram. I've always wanted to like do this. And he's talking about his pain points. So I always tied it to that. This is where you also like show the transformation you offer, like for your story, your client wins, your case studies, or just like say it's a fitness transformation, like where you've gone from skinny to fat, any type of like, from fat to skinny, any type of like information, any type of like wins that you kind of have, because this is also creating like a personal connection. Like you're connecting to the audience on a personal level by like not being like exactly being like, yeah, this is like my client, this is how he won. Like you guys have all seen Marcel's videos where he's like ripping into his client. Like I know that like sounds bad, but that's a bottom funnel content that's showing his client his wins, but then he's also trying to make it funny and like relatable and like painful. So it's bottom funnel content, that's not viral content. And this is where the conversion happens. This is like, again, like this is where I would say 90% of the conversion happens. Like again, you do have those like videos that like do very well, that are virality, but I would say for like most creators that I see, like this type of content is like what really like gets the people either to buy or really driven into your story. So like I would say like in the cycle of content, when they come back to another viral reel, they've seen this video and they're not actually following you from the viral video, they're following you because they've seen this video. Again, this is similar to YouTube. Like YouTube builds that great authentic. I look at the bottom funnel content as YouTube content really. And now I think you guys will like this.
All right, so here we're gonna get into how to know if it's viral content. This one is like extremely important for your top of funnel, because I'm sure you guys ideate from like a variety of sources. Like, you see something cool and be like, oh shit, I want to recreate that, doing something similar like the POV shots, the late night working laptop shots. What the goal is with me running through this is for you guys to be more selective with the choice of content that you choose to copy from and ideate. A lot of people will just see something that looks cool, personally to them, and that's okay to an extent. But if you want to grow your personal brand and like gain followers faster, you want to be more picky with the content you're actually taking. And by that, I mean, when you see a video, you need to look for something that breaks the mold of what's normal for that account. So if you see a follower with like, or an account with like 1 million followers, right? They're averaging like 200K per video. Obviously, that's their average level of video. So if you're seeing a video with 200K from them and you're like, oh, 200K views, that's great, I'm gonna copy that. That isn't breaking the mold for them. That's an average video. So if like a follower with 5K creators were posting the same thing, like it'd be the same average. The whole goal here is to analyze what's broken the average for them. So if they've got a 1 million view video, like among a bunch of 200,000 videos, those are the ones that you pull. To double down on this, the absolute best, I don't think I've had a losing video where I followed this exact format. I'll find a bigger creator, like one that averages 200,000 views, and I'll see them do like a template or a trend, like just something like easy and simple, like something gym related or overall lifestyle related, that averages 200K views, it's hit 1 million. Then I'll look for a smaller creator that has done the same trend, and then also if that's broken the mold, so if he's averaging like 2,000 views and that trend video, the same one as the bigger creator, hit 10,000, 15,000 views where he normally got 5, it's a working trend on all levels. So what difference is that for you, to not make? So I saw someone with 1 million make this video here, and then I also saw someone with 5,000 followers when I was at 20,000 followers make this video on the right. And I realized that it's a working format across all levels. I recreated the video and I wasn't surprised to see the result because I already knew it was a winning format. You can quite literally just steal the concept, right? And obviously frame it in your own way. You have your own B-roll clips, you have your own text style and colors, but this is the best way to analyze a top of funnel piece of content that you want to actually use to generate views and followers. Of course, like you can incorporate stuff that you like and stuff, but and I know a lot of you, the goal is to grow like a personal brand, get as many followers as possible. Because of course you guys can close, you guys can make money at whatever follower counts you're at right now, but like imagine this was triple. Like imagine you hit a video, like 1 million followers, you get like, 5,000 followers from it. It's just more work for you, more money. And the point of that is just be picky with the content you're choosing. Don't just pick it because it looks cool, like pick it intentionally because it's gonna have a big effect on both your middle and bottom of funnel. It's gonna help with conversion. Simply looking at a video that's broken the trend is gonna have a huge difference on what's happening in your whole system.
Yeah, I think it's also important to know that when you're doing this type of method, like Reed did it exactly right here. This guy Paul, he has like 2 million followers. Keenan has 100K followers. Reed at the time said he had like 20K followers. You have to copy the exact same like video. Like, of course, insert your text, but like text positioning, music, and cuts. Just download it. Get the URL from their Instagram. Put it into Instagram downloader. Download the video. Insert it into your editing process. Literally make the same cuts, the same audio, and place the text that they wrote in the same positioning. That's when it does well. And Reed, as you can see here, he even has this video even did better than what Keenan's video did. As you can see here, 25K likes, Keenan's did 39K. But Reed pulled this from Keenan. It's just how it works, and it's like proven to be, as Reed said, a viral content.
Yeah.
Do you want to play the videos
Yeah.
for like the bottom of funnel, top of funnel as well?
Oh yeah. Wait, do you want to see these or do you want to see this one?
Probably just both, just so you get a bit more
Just do
of an
top
idea.
and middle because I think the bottom.
Yeah, so let's just run, this is top of funnel, so this is the one that he copied. Oh. Can I even fucking get
Also, before we start, does anyone have any kind of questions on anything like so far in terms of what we covered?
Yeah, would
Yeah.
you say it's kind of a mix of like copy and then coming up with your own stuff?
Yeah, of course. Like
100%.
again, you want to make it your own brand. The thing is, it's like you don't want to go so far away from the trend that's like a working format for both someone above and below you. So for me, like I'll just put my own font on it. Obviously, I'll color grade it a different way, and of course, they're my own B-roll clips. So at the end of the day, it's going to be my own no matter what. I think one thing important though is to keep the same music. Like that for some reason has been like a really big factor in like making sure the videos are done good. I've experimented on trial runs with different music and the same music. The same music as a working trend for both people above and below me have been the thing that I've kept consistent the whole time. Everything else you can kind of adjust your identity. Granted, it's not like a crazy change.
In terms of like pretty much finding that big, account and then essentially the smaller or like the middle ones. In terms of like active market research, is that just you scrolling to
Yeah.
find those trends?
Yeah, to an extent, like there is some scrolling in there, but obviously you train your algorithm knows what you want to see, right? And like if I'm only following and like engaging with model creators like these people, like I don't follow many people for a specific reason, so I can only see their videos when I'm watching. Like I have a list of people and I'm like, I want to do a piece of top of funnel content today. I'll go down my list and I'll check every single creator, then I'll look at all their averages and see the one that's broken the mold out of like 30 creators. I'm like, okay, and obviously out of 30 creators, like their recent 10 videos, I'll find something that is above the average and I'll recreate that piece of content.
Also, Google extension sort feed
Yeah, no, I've got it. I've
it's
got it. It's got
cool.
some. It's had some problems recently, but like it's pretty popular.
Usually it's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? What is it?
Sort
It's like
feed.
if you're looking in terms of like you've got your favorite creators list or whatever, you can just do like Google Chrome extension sort feed on your desktop, and it pretty much does each video in order by like most viewed, so you don't have to like go scroll down the 30 and shit. So it just does it in most viewed to least viewed.
Yeah, it'll organize it.
Like,
And you can go into old content as well. It doesn't need to be like the last
do you have any
week.
water?
Like you guys can
Yeah,
scroll
yeah.
back months and months and find something and repurpose. Because a lot of these big creators, especially in top of funnel content, they repurpose their winning content. Like they might change, you know, like where the font is placed or like some little thing with the music or like the color grading. But for the most part, you can reuse like old videos that have done well. Like I think the one, like I posted one here, like the 1 out of 10 video. Like this video, I posted it in 2 different formats. Like one was counting down from 10 and the other one was counting up to 10. So it's essentially just reverse the video.
And they both
The
do well.
format is essentially the same. The information's the same. It just looks like a completely new video. And of course, I've seen the trend work, so it worked again.
But yeah, I'll just quickly show you. So like, this is the type of like, I would call this like top of funnel. It's just like very easily replicating, and you would base this off your model creator really. So like you kind of get an understanding how it works. It just counts down, and then read. Like if you just go to read, like Keenan's posted the same one, but if we go to, let me go here, read, same song, and look, 25k
It's
likes.
the same concept.
Shout
Yeah.
out that Reed guy.
Yeah, shout out that guy.
Same concept.
And now I'll just quickly show you. So like top of funnel content, you guys all see it because like Reed posted this 2 days ago. Just super relatable content. Content that
Just
it's a
something
sick
fun,
video.
something casual for the people. They want to see it.
I'm gonna roll that.
And now this is how Reed also runs his. Oh wait, this is a screenshot. We can go into your account after.
Yeah, we can review it. I don't know if that's a good example of what funnel content, but
That's alright. Alright, but yeah, that's kind of like how that system kind of like works with the viral reels based off the top of the funnel.
anyone have any questions kind of regarding that or how that functions?
Yeah, can you show the bottom funnel one?
Oh yeah.
It's not really a question, but it made so much sense when you were like, if you're recording a video for someone for Snapchat, it's like if someone's telling you and narrating something, I'm like, bro, I do not care. And
Yeah.
I'll just try to click out of it as soon as possible. If they're actually telling the story, I'll actually listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, because like it feels
Yeah.
real, it feels entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same with content. Like, and these are random people. These aren't even your friends. Like your friends will like go through that shit even if it's boring because they're your friends. Imagine random people with like
Yeah.
the dopamine style. Like they don't give a fuck if you're not giving them something instantly. So
Like you
really,
guys
really
love
important.
Finn's content. Like you guys love like the viral reels that he does. Like, but then you also love when he talks to the camera. When he's sitting there like explaining his like day or like the feeling that he's gone through or like the experience he has as like an entrepreneur or whatever. And I think like that's what is really connecting to you guys. Like yes, you also love like the sick edited videos and like all that, but like he's basically doing storytelling content just through like a piece to can and then just makes it sick and like high edited. Bottom funnel. So again, Reed's done a My Story video here.
Sometimes, when you feel like you shouldn't take the risk, is exactly when you should. For the last few years, I felt stuck in my job, stuck in my place, thinking that the life I was living was the one I was destined to live there. I had dreams of traveling, making money online, and connecting with people all around the world. Deep down, I knew that I had to change, and thanks to a close friend, I figured out how.
Well, the quality Did the
Opportunity to join Amplify. Amplify gave me the plan to change my life. It gave me the skills and the community to achieve my dreams. This made sure that all that was left to do was put the work in, and that's exactly what I did. Now, my life will never look the same, and it's only the beginning. Time for the next chapter to begin.
So like the outcome of that is I would just take like yes the high editing, high quality of course is the real, but he's telling legit like a personal outcome story of like what like kind of his like what's happened, like what he's feeling, what he's done, the changes he's made, like tying it into him relating, like him personally. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. What percentages would you like post if you're posting every day?
It's just what I
I
asked.
think
just
it
whatever.
depends on the goal you're trying to achieve. Like if you really just want to gain followers faster, of course top of funnel is going to do that better. But if you don't mix in everything, you know, tailored to your plan, like if you want to make money, obviously you got to have middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content in there to start converting. But for you guys, obviously you guys want to focus on growth. You guys, you probably deliver a lot of value right now. That's probably 90% of what you guys do, and you don't do enough, you know, extremely dialed in top of funnel content. So I think for a lot of you guys, it'd be like even 60%, 60% top of funnel content, and the rest, make up like 25% middle, 25% bottom, just to make sure you're still giving value. Because overall, a lot of your pages are quite professional, like I assume. So they already look like well set up. They already look like they have everything in place. When they come to their page or your page, they know exactly what they're getting. So the top of funnel content is just bringing them to your page that's already set up. This is where like the my story kind of video or my journey video comes in really well, because it just kind of adds to that level of like, they come to your page, it already looks set up, and then they've got a my story video that's like tying everything down. Like, this is where he came from, this is what he does. It's something that you do need to iron out depending on the exact goal you're trying to achieve. So for me right now, I'm kind of slowing down on the top of funnel. Like, I don't really need to just gain followers. Like, my goal is to collect more cash, so I'm focusing a lot on middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content to nurture the audience I already have. But for you guys in gaining followers, top of funnel content, I think maybe should take a slightly bit more of a priority just to bring followers in the door.
Also look at your analytics, like you guys ever looked at, now you've seen this, look at Finn, like when he posts, Saturday's always a viral, like edited high reel. It's like what he posted last night. There's a reason for that. It's because like he's not getting in much engagement on Saturday, so tonight he's gonna drop a banger. Like, it's just kind of how it works. Yeah, and you just gotta like think of it as like that. Like that's how I structure it. I like look at the days of the week, especially because my audience is from Australia. They're working 9 to 5. I look at Monday. Okay, they've come off the weekend. They probably want to come down. They're super sad. They posted. They're like fucking going to work. So I'm like, all right. So if I was in that situation, which I was, I tailor it back to my feelings. I'm gonna make like a bit of like a value, like not like cocky type of video. I'm gonna like provide some pain points that I relate to. Boom, that's what I post on Monday. Tuesday, people are coming off that. They're feeling a bit better. Tuesday, I'm posting more of like value-driven pieces of information. People want to learn how to get away from the weekend coming up. Like break it down based off emotions, and then break that down based off your analytics. That's like the best way to go forward. Okay. Now, this is how you tell versus authority versus documenting storytelling. Do you want me to start or do it?
No, you can go ahead.
Alright, so let's break up Alfie here and the stage that he's done, because like we all watch Alfie's content. As you see, started as a documenter, documenting 75 hard. He achieved the outcome of 75 hard and built the reputation through his physique. Like, it's pretty nuts. So then he sold that. And built this huge fitness coaching business. Then he built which gave him authority. He then took the authority standpoint in the fitness coaching. He then also took that authority to building personal brand. But now he's also transitioning to more of a hybrid role where he's documenting his like journey to like get to like $100 million in revenue while still maintaining his authority position. Like I said, he's documenting the journey. He's posting like YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, lessons, value, and documenting series of him like trying to like achieve these goals, but we all know he's an authority. Like, he's coming to speak today. Like, we have respect for him, but he's still showing the process of him getting there, like this app that he's launching, or like his business ventures, or him building out the team. That's all he's taken of course, like the YouTube route, because that nurtures it better. So he's decided to document the hybrid model more on YouTube, but still you can maintain the authority standpoint as a documenter. This is how you know if you're a documenter. You're trying to hit a goal. If you're trying to hit a goal, then you're a documenter essentially. Like, if you're learning, experimenting, failing, and improving and haven't reached the result yet, you're showing this process. So that was me. I had no credentials. I was trying to get this goal, and I would like talk as if like I'm trying to. Here's what I learned this week. I'm 30 days into trying to hit this goal. So like I'm working towards something. So it was clearly obvious that I was a documenter. I didn't sell a product. I couldn't provide any value other than fitness, and I didn't want to take the fitness route. So I had to be a documenter, and that's how I tailored my storytelling. Again, this is only because like I'm talking in like a storytelling standpoint, but I still think distinguishing between documenting stage and authority stage really sets out your page like very clearly of like where you need to take it, and people get a really good understanding. Like, Finn's an authority in the space. Like, that's why you guys are here today. Like, Reed and I both started as documenters. Now we're switching to authority by doing masterminds, by coaching inside Amplify, by teaching value on our page. We're switching and making the switch over now. But if you haven't achieved the desired outcome, then documenting is the stage that you should take. I reckon, do you want to run this based off Kessler?
Yeah, 100%. So the authority stage, and again for me, like I said earlier, there's like varying levels to what you can do. Like, you can still document and be an authority, but for the sake of, the specific example, an example of an authority would be someone like, you know, this guy here, Kessler Fitness. He's a fitness coach. Obviously, he's achieved the physique, like he's already at his end goal. There's not quite much more he can do in terms of reflecting himself as the ideal person to help. So it's if you've built the systems, the frameworks, and the perspectives up, and you're no longer wanting to teach, you're just showing, this is me, this is what I've done, I can help you do the same. And obviously, I still think even for him, there's room to document, but of course, like given his current circumstances, it makes more sense for him to take like way more of an authority angle than purely documenting. The stories will sound like, I've done this, here's how I do it again. Like, I've been here before, I remember what it was like to be you, here's what I would do differently. And like what I wish I knew when I started, kind of thing. And yeah, there's also the hybrid stage, which is obviously more of a stage that Jake and I find ourselves in now, like obviously documenting the journey up to the certain following we have. But the hybrid stage is more about like, you've hit that past goal. So for me, and obviously Jake also, we set goals to reach a certain follower count, like reach a certain maybe amount of like money a month kind of thing. And once you've hit that goal, it's like, you've achieved one thing and people have seen that, but obviously they want more. Like you need to be ambitious and obviously constantly improving. And for us, we're not just gonna, you know, hit the goal and be like, all right, that's it guys, let's just immediately stop improving and just do random shit. It's like, no, now we wanna set another goal. We wanna like go hybrid with it. We wanna like scale to 50K a month. I guarantee you when I get to like 50K followers, whatever, if I make a series getting there, I'm not gonna call it wraps. I'm gonna like make a new series, design something. Okay, 100,000 followers by the end of the year or something. The hybrid stage is about, you know, documenting to a goal, but obviously like giving value on how you got there along the way, and then obviously setting a new goal and then talking about how you got to 50K and how you're gonna refine and make things better on your journey up to the next one. So you're constantly improving, you're constantly delivering value while also still, you know, maintaining a journey for people to follow.
I think with me personally, I did stories for startups because I was documenting the journey, and now I'm doing a new series called, I did Chasing a Dream as the documenting. Now I'm doing stories for startups, and because I'm doing a startup, I've also starting up a business. It's giving me that like other level of authority now because I'm providing value on that business, but I'm also still documenting me building it because I actually haven't built it out before. So like 20-year-old other guys are going to resonate with this so hard, being like, oh, I want to build an online business. But because I'm building the business around like a personal brand, like me and Real building a community, we also like run our own offers. So like I'm providing value in that while still just like building towards the end goal because I don't have the end goal. And I think that's like a creator like Mino Lee, like he makes $100,000 a month, but he's showing you like he's documenting the journey to scale up even further, even though he's already hit $100,000 a month. Like he's 1% above other people, but there's always people above him. So I think like that's super important to remember. Like as long as you're 1% in front of someone else, like you can always provide value. So like you should just essentially like just be in like a leeway stage. Any questions on that? Where do you guys think you all see it?
I feel like most people should be, even if you are like at an authority stage, should be at the hybrid. Like in Alpha, you're doing 7 figures a month and
I think
still
so.
Documenting. So I feel like you can never lose anything by documenting regardless of how much authority you have.
It's better to connect if you're like do a hybrid and you just tell people exactly what you do. It just doesn't really connect. Like, you know, people buy from people they like and trust and shit. So if you're just like hammering shit into them like week in, week out, like I do this, like they're gonna buy from someone who they like genuinely connect with more. And that's coming from someone who hasn't even been in the business as years. It's something that I've experienced, and like when I get inbound DMs, it's like more like, oh, I love your content, like I love your story and stuff. It's not like I've seen how good you can do personal brands, like help me out. So I think this is a great way to connect with them in that way.
Yeah, like Casper, I'm curious, like what would you, because you have a lot of knowledge in the fashion world, so people come to you, like literal founders.
I think it's been an interesting one. I mean, like I've only kind of focused on like bare minimum content, and it was more like seeing in the fashion space, it sounds bad, but like everyone's pretty retarded. Like, no, put simply, like everyone that's teaching you how to do brands is like done one 10K month by putting 10K into ads and then saying I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas me is like, I think like someone that's actually successfully been able to exit. I was still doing market research on top of funnel when I should be doing the hybrid, which is what we're doing. Because it's like all my inbound leads have been, they already know who I am. So like I just need to showcase more of who I am, not a shitty tip video, because like I've already got, you know, B-roll footage of me with like 1,000 people lines and stuff, so that's kind of easy to sell.
Yeah, like documenting selling without selling.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and it's just, I think I need to just showcase more of my story, especially with specifically like my new system that I've built, which is going to be more America based, like as in like there's so many like whales in America
Yeah,
that
of
can just buy it, so it's like I need to showcase my story more to them because they're not going to have come across it. Everyone that's seen my content just reaches out to me. So
Yeah, sick. No, I like it. Alright, I think me and Reed are gonna break down like how we structure our stories. Of course everyone's individual. I'm gonna show you what works for me, Reed's gonna show you what works for him, but they're both very similar. So for me, I break down the story like pretty like simply. Hook is, I would say, is everything. I would literally say hook is 99% of everything. Like, look at this photo of me, like you're clicking on that. Like you don't have to do this because I'm taking the more of like the documentary route. So yes, like it's like putting me in that like, less authority stage. But when you're an authority in the space as well, like still think of like something that's going to capture people's eyes. Like a quick cut isn't going to really do it. Like you do need to capture the people's attentions. Like Finn, let's collect some cash. Like everyone froths that. Everyone loves to like see that. And it's like that is authority in itself. And like he's sticking to his ICP, but he's also just like keeping it super like hook. Like the one where he's standing in the door frame like this is my third espresso. It's like again like super good hook. It's gonna intrigue people. So the do's is I would lead with either contrast or tension. So what I mean by that is like a pain or like something that like something that's like conflicting opinions or something that's like other people are facing, and that's like kind of what I mean by like the tension feeling. So like you like they relate to you on that. I would like make stakes visual and then keep under 4 seconds. Like I would not be making your hook like any longer than 4 seconds. Like you've drawn it out. People have like the worst attention span. And the don'ts is don't start with generic intros like hey guys or like what's up. Like get straight to the point. Get straight into it. Like literally like I open conversations, like I try like write my intro mid-sentence and that's what I start with. And then don't hide tension halfway through. Like again, Reed's like telling you like how emotion gets scaled down when you make a video. Like you see some guy like do a cliff jump, for example, it doesn't look that big, but in real life, like you stand up to that cliff and you're like, holy shit, this is fucking huge. So like again, it's just everything gets scaled down. Now the stake, I usually do this between like 0 and 4 seconds. This is after I've introduced myself about who I am, and then now like what's the stake? And like again, this is for like the documentative series, and like you can also tailor this to like the piece to cams as well if you're wanting to do like a more of like a storytelling type of piece to cam. But the do's is like establish context fast, so like don't elaborate, just be super clear to the point. Like I'm a 20-year-old Aussie, like super clear. Relatable details, follow with like the raise intention which comes after that, which is the emotional arc. Don't overload the backstory, like don't provide too much detail, super clear. Like act as though you're talking to a 5th grader. That's what I found, and as soon as someone told me that, it kind of changed everything. Like don't use like too technical language, like think about who your ICP is and think about, okay, what are they actually going to digest? What are they going to get like an understanding of? And like how am I going to easily relate to them like quickly and fast? Then the emotional arc, so like I do this in different ways, but I basically just like tie it to like a pain point that I've had in the past now because I'm talking from like an authoritative standpoint. So that's a relatable. Or I'm trying to achieve the goal. So for this, it's like me trying to achieve the goal of me starting up the business. I tie in like the pain that I had that day. Speaks to the person or the audience. Use like emphasis, like be like dramatic or be like emotional or like change the music tone. Like sometimes I use like 2 to 3 different songs just to like capture the emotion inside there. Finn gave you guys his YouTube playlist. Like I basically use that for all my videos. Don'ts is don't end with filler lines, and don't forget to link back to like the CTA. So this is if you're doing a CTA, and when I mean a CTA, it's not like comment the word this. This is like a CTA of like what's gonna make the person like come and watch your video next time. And again, this is tying it back to like storytelling content. So like people are like expecting you to be like coming back the next time. So like here it's like directly what's coming up next, kind of make it like curious. So like people like are like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. Or like I don't know, I kind of want to find out for this. Like we all love that guy that like is like this is day 28 of fighting my followers. Like have you guys seen that guy?
Yeah.
Boys, I'm like itching for the next video every time. That's because I'm left curious at the end of every video, and that's just been like the way that he portrays it. But like again, that's broken down. And like don't keep stakes vague, and like don't rush the emotional plot. And that's kind of like how I break down my storytelling structure. And I think Reed.
Yeah, of course. And the thing is, there is no one way to tell a story. There are more like aspects of storytelling that you should include to make sure the video does well. So this is just, one way I like to tell a story that's obviously a bit varied to Jake's for the sake of, helping you guys out. The thing I like to start with a lot of the time is a relatable pain hook. So it uses a universal belief, fear, or shame thought. Something that's worked really well for me is talking directly to the viewer. So using the word you specifically, because obviously that's going to target someone and make them feel something. Rather than just say like, I did this, like, this is what I did. That's obviously not grabbing someone and making them feel like, you're talking to them specifically. An analogy I kind of like to use is like, there's a crowd of people, and if you just shout the word like, hey, a bunch of people might turn around, but obviously none of them are really going to be like, oh, like he's talking to me. But like, if you shout in the crowd like Tom or something, obviously people like are going to be more like all the Toms. There might be 3 of them, but they're going to be like, holy shit, that's for me. That kind of idea is similar to why I use the word you, because saying the word you obviously drags like someone in rather than just talking about yourself or talking about an external topic that's not as relevant. Similar to Jake's, you lead with the tension and the contrast, and you want to keep it short. Your hook can't drag on for longer than 4 or 5 seconds, because then it just becomes a story you're leading into like backstory and other irrelevant topics. You want to keep it short, sharp, and simple. So it's like, I can't believe this happened, or like if you're using the word you, it's like, you should not be doing this if you, kind of thing. Like just a short, sharp sentence. Don't start generic, just like Jake said. You want to be specific with it, and don't drag the tension. Like get the hook done immediately, first 3-4 seconds, and then lead into the backstory. Normally for me, the backstory lasts between the 4 and 16 second mark. You want to keep the sentences short. You want to progress the story fast, because obviously the hook is what's brought people in. Like Jake said, it is 95, probably more, like 98% of your video. Because without a good hook, no one's staying for the backstory, no one's staying for the breaking point, no one's staying for the CTA. If you're thinking about dividing your energy into a storytelling video, or any video for that matter, if you're dividing it up evenly, like 25% on the hook, 25% on the backstory, 25% on the CTA, no one's gonna get to that final point. Like all of your energy should be deciding what your hook is, like in terms of what B-roll clip, in terms of how crazy the thing you're gonna say is, the enthusiasm in your voiceover. That's like before I even cover the rest. Your hook should be 90% of it. Because the backstory here is just to like fill in and progress the story. Like you're just giving some backstory into like, what is leading up to that breaking point. So again, use specific language to maintain engagement. It's not like a couple of weeks ago I realized, it's like 2 years ago I was sitting in my room with my best friend and then it finally hit me. Like it helps paint a picture in the people's head that are watching a video that this actually happened and it's real, rather than just something you're making up. It's like, oh, a couple of weeks ago this happened. It doesn't paint the picture, it doesn't help with emotion, and it makes people think it's fake. You don't want to overload the backstory and just go crazy on all the details. You don't want to generalize everything, and you don't want this section going on for too long. You just want to give them enough context to take them to the point where you're like realizing something. And that's where the breaking point comes in. I want you, like I just said, to describe the turning point in one specific moment. So it's like, I was driving in the car with a friend one night when he told me something he saw on Reels, and it made me realize this. It's like, it's an awfully specific moment that makes people think it's real. Using the words like but, until, then, and finally really, really drive in like the build up and make sure it hits. And obviously these are really, really important to make visual or emotional to maximize the impact. You don't want to make it sound like a slow, vague process, something you slowly realize over time, because that's not a video. It's like, you don't want to say like, over the course of the last few years, I slowly came to realize this. It's like, what clips are you going to put in there? 1, and 2, like who's going to stick around to kind of understand the generalized process of the last few years? You don't want to overcomplicate it. You just want to describe the exact scenario that broke you, or that you come to a climax for. And then we've got the takeaway and the soft CTA. So these, honestly, if you've done the other 3 parts right, especially the hook and the breaking point, people are going to stick around for the end of the video. So the do's here are to turn the emotional honesty into a practical lesson. So once you've hit that breaking point of something that you've realized, you want to give the audience something that you've learned from that experience, something you can practically take away. And the key here is keeping it calm and conversational, like giving advice to a friend. Like you want to share what happened or what changed or what you're going to do now as a result of that breaking point. And this can help you lead naturally into a CTA. Because if you just bluntly like slap out like comment the word this, even though it's irrelevant, obviously that's going to feel salesy. There's going to be resistance for like watching the video or even like completing the CTA task itself. You don't want to end on a filler line. You want to slowly ease into it. So like, so if you feel like that too, comment the word this, or like, so if you need help, like the same thing I did, like comment the word this. It's like, you want to lead into it casually, like you're talking to a friend. Like I was talking about earlier, you want to talk as if you're sending a voice note on Snapchat, like at the end of your videos. You want to make it super casual, give them something to take away, like once I did that, like now I realize never to do that again. And if you want to know how to avoid the same thing, like do this, like comment the word this. It like keep it super casual and conversational towards the end of your video, and that won't make it sound like there's a CTA there. People just naturally gravitate towards exactly what you say. They'll get the action done. Instead if you just like block it out and make it super, super different and contrasting to what you'd normally do. Now, we're gonna go on to probably a more actionable step for a lot of viewers.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, how to execute your story, how to make a storytelling video. Because we've kind of filled in the gaps of like, what it is and how we structure it, but this is probably the best time to take notes on what you actually do and the steps we take to script and actually post our videos. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start off. So, are you on pressure, bro?
Will this be shared with us?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course,
okay,
of course. So I break my scripts down like quite intensely, and I go always script first. Gives me the idea. The way that I get my scripts, to be full honest, like other than the video that did really well for me, that was completely written. I have model creators based off storytelling. I look at what they did well. My recent video is based off Daniel Allen's brother's video. Like I literally take the script, rewrite it, think of an idea that I can add to it, tailor it to my ICP. And like, again, the way that we showed you how to do viral reels, I run the same complete system looking for viral story videos. But it's the exact same. It's gonna be like, there's creators out there who use the same hook. Is it possible? I'm sure you've all heard that before. Like that's a winning hook for storytelling. So I basically first look for a viral script, I write it out, and then like kind of this is like how I break it down. This is also how Alfie breaks it down as well. I know because I write his scripts for him. Title, I crack the algorithm, reference video, transcript, my new transcript, I want to have it right next to each other, and then like CTA, if that's going to be like a CTA or not. And then that's kind of how I write it down. Also in there, I then like will like tie visuals to it because I've just now taken on an editor. So my editor will look at my script and then I'll have the visuals next to it because it is a storytelling piece. Like there is a lot of visuals going on and like you want to make sure it like matches up like correctly. So like I'll go line by line, like one line, break it down, line again. And I also do that because in the second stage, I record my audio line by line. The reason why I do that is because I used to take it in one break, one line. And for me personally, there's so many like this is just a one-way thing, but for me personally, I like to like stop it, listen to what Sam said, the emotion that he said it, and then I re-say it. So I'll be like, I'm a 20-year-old who moved to Bali, and then I'll listen to Sam how he says it. If that's not emotional enough, I'll retake that till it is literally perfect. Then I'll go again, but I moved, and like break it down step by step. And that's also because I've broken down the story script step by step. So like I can also envision the visual that's coming to that. So it's like, my recent reel where I'm about to post is like I say an intro and then I fall off a hammock. I break it step by step because I know in my head that I need to say this with emotion because it's gonna look like on the camera, like I'm falling. So that's why I do that, that's why I do that. I think Reed do you want to run your talk on this?
So this is why I kind of emphasize that storytelling can look different for different people. Because obviously it's worked for me and Jake in different capacities. But for me, I actually record my audio all in one go. Obviously it's just one like consistent like recording. But what I do instead of line by line is I'll say the whole thing. And the reason for that is I want to keep the same tonality, the same volume and stuff as I go. Like, because I want it to flow sentence by sentence. If I block it out, and this is just me personally, line by line, I might have forgotten like, the cadence and the tonality of one sentence. So I won't carry it into the next one. And therefore it'll sound blocky, it might sound robotic and scripted because each line sounds completely different. So obviously, yeah.
You memorize everything?
No, so what I do is I have it in front of me. I just read it like in one continuous go. Like instead of just, recording one line, like putting the audio block in, one line. Like,
you mean the voiceover?
Yeah, the voiceover. So
Oh,
voiceover goes
okay.
completely, like flows completely in one go. And obviously that's for me, like to have consistency like in my tone of the whole story, to help the flow, to help the authenticity of me actually telling a story instead of just reading off a script. But again, it works differently for different people. Obviously Jake can convey emotion better line to line, but for me, I found it easier and more efficient to do it all in one go purely because I just think it flows better and it sounds more natural.
You should try it out like yourself, and especially like when you're doing it's different when you're doing piece to cams. I sometimes I break it up, record different sections, or like if I'm feeling it, I'll do a line for line. Like I think it's important to try both, see what works for you. And that's why we both do it both. Then once I've recorded the audio, I match the music before the visuals. The reason why I match the music before the visuals is because then I can tailor the visuals to the music. So I go audio, music, and then I also add in multiple songs for my storytelling because I'm raising the emotion in each video. The emotion is based off like the highs and lows in my tonality of voice. So I match the music to that. So that's why. Is that the same with you, Reed?
Yeah, so for me, I actually do it a different way. This is all, again, more of a personal preference thing. I think the most important thing for a lot of these is like what goes into each. So recording the audio, like you have to be emotional in each and you need to find out what works best for you. For me, I put my audio in first and then I put my clips in like second. Like for me, it's more mix and match. Like it's not a cut and dry system. The audio for me is the most important and I think that will help. As long as you have your audio in first, that'll help you choose the B-roll clips. Something I like to do is like, once I have my audio in, I'll put the audio captions on so I can see what words are on the screen and that'll help me better match the B-roll clips and where I want piece to camera. It just makes the whole system easier for me, but that's normally how I order my storytelling.
Reed also uses one song throughout, where I use multiple. So if you want to use multiple songs, I would definitely recommend doing audio like after you record. And then like Reed, yeah, he uses one song throughout. So it's like a little bit different, but the reason why we're giving you both is because like we both have successful accounts, and so there's multiple ways. You don't have to.
You
do it
want to
one
experiment with what style works best for you. Like you all have your own personal brands, your own like own identities, and what you actually want to portray. So the only way you're going to find out what works for you and what the audience also likes is by experimenting.
And then I basically match visuals. Of course, like when there's like a beat, like as you can see here in this clip, like I just get the beats, match the visuals to like the cuts of the beats. So like they're like hitting like certain points because like that creates emotion. It's all about like continuing the listener. So like when you're listening, like the emotions carried, like there'll be cuts on certain beats. That's basically you just like getting good at editing, or your editor doing that for you. Like I think that's just like you learning like, okay, this song hits this position now, that's when a clip should cut. I can't really like explain exactly like what goes in my head, but realistically like when there's a change in emotion, that means there's either a change in a song in my videos, or there's a change in visual. Or if I'm saying like sipping coconuts, pumping iron, and like walking, it'll be like a visual of me like sipping coconuts, a visual of me walking, a visual of me like pumping iron. It will just be like back to back to back, and it'll be like literally like the visual matching the emotion, matching the audio, which I think is really important. Like if I'm listening to you talk about money, but you're showing me you riding a bike, like it just doesn't make sense. It's like match it, make sure it matches up. And then I add captions and sound effects and export, but where are you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I guess we'll move on to now like more of a key takeaway, which is kind of why we displayed the fact that we do different things, is that storytelling can work in a variety of different ways. It's like,
Oh yeah, down
it's
here.
like down
Just
here.
quickly, Jake, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on like, obviously you boys used to edit everything yourself, and now you've got the editing team. A lot of guys here probably won't have the time to like spend time learning how to edit and edit all their content themselves. How do they skip that process to get an editor and then tell them to do that same process?
Yeah, no, 100%.
But with an editing team,
I
because
think
they're
that's
not
a
going to have
good
time to
question.
learn how to edit.
Yeah, the thing is, I think the most important thing about that is understanding what story you actually want to tell and what value you want to provide. Because if your editor doesn't understand anything about you, you're just giving him B-roll and like giving him a voiceover, like with emotion, he's not going to understand what to do with it. Like I just brought on an editor, and it's still a process for me to get him to understand what my personal brand actually is going to look like. Like I've written out a whole 12-page document of the fonts, the color schemes, and everything that we're slowly developing. That kind of helps the identity and the message that you actually want to bring. But I think first is actually understanding the story you want to tell. Like you've all got stories that you need to harness in your storytelling content. But I think step one before you even bring that to an editor is understanding yourself. What story you actually want to give people? Like what value is there in your story that you can provide to non-followers, followers, to both just gain more and also convert? Like everybody here has a story regardless of how crazy or kind of not crazy it is, but there's value in like our lives that we have lived so far. So it's about extracting what parts of your life is relevant to these people and then making sure your editor understands that. Like he's got to understand what value you can provide in your storytelling so he can work with you accordingly. I think personally it's a process that will take time, and obviously I'm someone who's going through it right now. Like talking to the editor about what I actually want to achieve with my content outside of just the sharp cuts and like the cool edits and stuff. I think it's important that they are dialed in on what message you're trying to achieve. And obviously you guys haven't done heaps of storytelling content, so I think step one is thinking about your stories, like going home today or going whatever, and thinking about your life stories, what you've overcome and how you've gotten to the point you're on now, and also where you want to go in the future. Laying out everything that you've done is going to paint a clearer picture, not just for yourself, but for everyone you're trying to work with in making content.
Yeah, I think the same. For me, I just break it down through my script. So like I have a Google Sheet with my editor who has the video, the inspiration, and then next to it my script. And then in my script, that's why I write it line by line, because like when you write your script, if you're doing storytelling content, yes, you're gonna have to break down the visuals because you're gonna have to go film those visuals if you don't have them. So an easy way to like connect with your editor, and so he gets a clear understanding, is like the line, like what you're talking about, and then in brackets the visual that you want them to match to. And then it's just like, that only takes me like 40 minutes. And then I send them off to that. He literally picks my music, he does the cuts for me. Like, I don't need to do any of that. I do put it in one timeline, like what Finn does, and then I upload it, and then it's just like day by day broken down. I think it's like, yeah, it's not much different to like how you guys would run it for your other videos, but I think it does take a little bit more, may take a few more revisions, and just like linking it to your script, I think is a bit important. Like going the extra detail, being like, I want like this script, this line matches this visual, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. I think we're going to get now into the how to capture moments, just to make it easier for you guys to kind of take inspiration. I know we've been chatting for a while, and I want to make sure that you guys kind of have something visual now to look at, so you can lock in on what we're saying. How to capture moments. These are essentially just content creation inspiration, like shots that we use, shots that I've recently gotten, like having a videographer over here, just to kind of represent different emotion stuff. I'm sure Jay can take you through a couple of these, but I'll start off. Working shots, obviously super good in terms of B-roll, because especially for you guys like working and wanting to display, you know, more of an authoritative angle. A lot of you guys have like working shots for a majority of your content. I'm sure you all understand the importance of like having these to kind of represent what you do, like, you know, what you're working with, and, you know, what you're actually working on in terms of business. Talking head, again, you can dial in more of the storytelling side. This is speaking directly to your viewer. The thing about these is it doesn't need to be so cut and dry like at your desk. Like, you can tell stories anywhere. Like, for example, here I'm at like one of them's at the gym, one of them's on a bike. It just seems more casual. Like, you can still be an authority and like document something casually. Like, everyone has thoughts like popping into their head about different things. If you have something to document, regardless of your environment, you should document it if you have the opportunity. All right, Jake, you want to do some of the other ones?
Yeah, I think when I was actually first joined Empfly, I was reaching out to Finn to get some revisions on him, and he made it super clear to me like the positioning you are on the camera really matters. So like you have to think of it as like, if you're level lined, like it's like a neutral conversation. If you're like looking up at the camera, it's like you're giving them the authority. If you're looking down, like you're talking down them. So again, when you're writing out your scripts, that's what you're planning your shots off. So like, am I talking in an authority perspective here? Okay, I'm gonna be talking down. Or am I talking in a neutral perspective? I'm talking here. Or am I talking like up to them? It's like this. So you need to think of that, and that's why we have this here. So like top down angle shot, I think it's very self-explanatory, like looking directly down, 2 images here. Close up, again, this is B-roll clips. So like you can reuse these. Like I use B-roll clips in my story videos like over and over again, no one will know, because it's like different B-roll clips, or it'll just be like short, sharp things where I fill it in where I think it needs detail. And this is when you have like a voiceover plus the B-roll clips. And again, this can be just like things that correlate to the message that you're trying to get across, or the script. So like if you're talking about a coffee, insert that. Talking about breakfast, insert this.
I think one thing with the close-up also is these are really important to convey emotion. Like I know we played my video earlier. At this very start of the video, there was a close-up of like my eye, as I said, an emotional line. These are normally used to convey emotion, and the reason we're showing you these shots like independently are because they all play a role in like the storytelling process and how you will actually choose your B-roll. Like Jay said, you don't want to, have something completely irrelevant. A close-up shot is probably one of your most important ones to start conveying emotion. Because obviously, when we're telling stories, we don't want it to be consistently linear, like good. Like we don't want like everything's good, everything's getting better, everything's great. There's no stake in the story, there's no emotion, there's no kind of excitement or turning point. So these close-up shots are important when you have those lines that kind of represent things that are not just good. Because obviously in your story, not everything's just going to go great. And the reason that we, have these close-up ones are because like you might not all have shots of you crying, like on the ground. Like the way you can kind of counteract that is like having a close-up of your eye, like from behind your head. So obviously like they're still going to get the emotional side of things without compromising the other shots.
And then wide angle shot lens. So like captures like a broad depth of field. So like if you're explaining like your environment or like what you've been up to, or like who you're surrounding yourself with, like these are great shots for that. Again, this is just all things to consider in the one storytelling frame. Like you want to be bringing in multiple aspects of shots, because like otherwise you're going to be bored. It's all about like retaining that visual. Now we all train, so I think it's important to understand like the training shots. So here we got like wide angle shots capture a broad depth of field. It's the same with the wide angle shot here, but this is just like for you training. So like get a group of you, get a bit of the environment in the background when you're running. This creates just like a depth of like field. So like when you're running, I like envision like, okay, he's like surrounded in this environment, paints the picture in my head. And that's when you bring in the close-up shot, because this provides the detail. This is what like kind of brings me into like you itself, and like shows you in more of like that position, like I like can resonate with you because it's like the close-up shot brings the emotion and like enhances the tension in the videos. Again, like this coupled with like music and you telling the story, like it all just combines together, and that's why these shots are like so important. They're on the next two.
Yeah. So for these, like when you're writing your scripts, it's kind of good to think about what shot you want to include in each. Like as I'm writing my script, sometimes I'll put like piece to camera, or I'll put like wide angle shot. Doing these kind of help with my clip selection of making sure that it actually is aligned with the story that I'm telling. Wide angle again is similar. I use it similar in a way to like an establishing shot, something that will just show what's going on in my story. So if I'm saying something broad, like I did this with my friends, like it's just me and my friends like panning out kind of thing. That's more for establishing. A close-up is something I use quite often, like I just said, to highlight emotion. So something obviously of your face or of a specific detail, like if I'm writing something, like it'll be a close-up of my hand to describe like an important action, like signing a document. Or like for emotion, close-ups of your face are key. Whether it be happy or sad, like if you have a high quality shot, it doesn't even need to be high quality, of just, you know, an emotion on your face. Having a close-up obviously is gonna be way better than just a wide angle shot of you smiling from a distance. That's more, you know, setting the scene, but having that close-up will bring people into your world and like make you feel like it's face to face. If you pair that with a good voiceover, like a genuinely authentic and emotional voiceover, it will make people feel connected to you and it'll make you feel like it's real. Then obviously we have the establishing shot, super similar to the wide one. It just sets the scene. This will actually be a large quantity of shots if you are telling a story with lots of ups and downs and like you're moving around a lot. You're gonna need a lot of these to kind of keep the story flowing and make people understand where you are. Because again, in the voiceover, you're not narrating exactly what you're doing. You want to give the emotions and the feelings. So the establishing shot is gonna paint the picture of like, this is the context, but then the voiceover is giving the feeling. So this is why they kind of pair and why they're super important.
It's good for a hook as well. Like I use establishing shots. You saw me on the skateboard. Like that's an establishing shot. Like I'm on a skateboard, I'm riding, but it's also close-ups. Like you feel like intense when you start watching it. And that's, yeah, it's good for a hook. Extreme wide shot. This is again just insane B-roll clips. Like you chuck this in like where you need some filler clips. I always chuck in like B-roll clips. Yeah, I think like extreme wide shot good for that. Aerial shot, so today we got some drone footage. If say we're making like a mastermind event page, like a mastermind video, like we would chuck in an aerial shot maybe as like the intro where it like starts on me, so it's intense, emotional as the hook, then it zooms out as it goes up, paints the picture of what it's about, and then it will zoom back into a close-up angle. Like something like that, like how like Finn put on that story today of like the close-up shots, like that creates the emotion. It's very intense, very close shots. So you start with that, then you bring out the aerial drone shot, that creates the picture, and you bring it back into like what you're trying to achieve. And I think like you can do this in multiple ways, like cutting. So like if I'm doing a backflip off a bridge, it starts either really close up, and then when I jump, it expands out of me doing a backflip. This is if you have like multiple shots, this is how you utilize it. And then again, close-up detail shots. So like close up in the environment here, like close up of me, just like fucking looking up. And that's like tight on detail, high significant frame. Again, this is like another great like B-roll type clip or great like hook or great like introduction shot.
Yeah, 100%. All right, that was obviously a lot to digest. There's a lot of themes in there. Again, like anything, with reps and consistency, storytelling is key. Obviously, there's a lot of tools that we have to help you. Like if you guys need like script templates and stuff, like literally things where you can just plug in your information. Like I've got templates that say like insert your name here, insert age here, insert goal. Like if you guys message me, like on Instagram, I'll give you the script templates to make it super easy, because obviously it's hard just coming up with everything and then putting it all together. I'm gonna write a list of kind of the steps like we had here of exactly how to make your story, and then give you the template to make it as easy as possible, because obviously I know that this skill isn't easy. Like the one that you see pinned for me, like the My Journey, it wasn't my first story video. I think it was like my 11th or 12th. The one that blew up for Jake was episode 26 or something. So again, it's a reps thing, just like any other piece of content. But it is the best content to be putting the reps in for. Like all the top of funnel content, you can't really like make it better, right? It's just like identifying the right trends. Story videos can progressively get better. You can get better at your voiceovers. You can get better at the sharper cuts, especially if you guys have editors and they're dialed in on your story and your storytelling style. It's just gonna make it even better. So if you guys have any questions regarding, you know, anything we talked about, now's the time.
Yeah. Bro, really appreciate it. So you guys are gonna send the...
Yeah, you guys can have this also. We'll send this to
And can
everybody.
you send it to WhatsApp the scripts?
Yeah.
The
I've got a
YouTube
bunch of shit I'll just chuck
breaking
in there.
down my whole script structure. It's 13 minutes long. I'll just send that as well. It's like a full in-depth breakdown, like Loom video.
And the script template, you said you had the document?
Yeah, I can just send that through like on the WhatsApp.
Thank you
group
so
chat
much.
to everyone. I'll just put it all in
Appreciate
there and label it.
So do you guys have filmmakers like taking all these shots? Typically, you just have the homies do it, or how'd you guys start out?
So up until like like 2 weeks ago, I was just doing it myself with my phone, obviously like hanging out with other
Your phone?
creators and stuff. Yeah, just phone. But like no, these recently, like in the last, my filmmaker actually just went home. He was here for a week and a half. He happens to be my best friend from like back where I lived, and like he quit his job in construction because he wanted to do more. And I was like, get into videography so like you can be the filmmaker, I can be the guy with the personal brand. So he was just out, which is like a reason for a lot of the shots you see here. But
Yeah.
before that, like up until 2 weeks ago, it was the majority just like iPhone clips. And you can still tell a great story with your phone. Like it's more about the emotion and the message rather than the clips itself. Obviously this just makes it like higher production. It's still great, but again, it's more about the emotion and the message you're trying to portray rather than the quality of the clips itself. But they are fucking sick, so it's kind of like you do what you can.
I reckon they're cool, and especially if you're like talking to more an authority standpoint, I think it like adds that level a bit of like what Finn said before, like how you show up on Instagram, you show up in your business as well. Like if I see like an unstructured Instagram page, looks a bit sloppy, like yes, it's super relatable, but at the end of the day, like we don't want to be influencers, we kind of want to make a business. So it's like super professional, and that's why we've made the switch. But again, I think Reed over me more has like literally built his whole account based off like iPhone clips, and they're super like, if you just understand the shots and how to master it, then yeah.
So do you like just have a tripod for your phone? You set it up in random places?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
I
was it
was-
for the longest. I actually didn't even have a tripod up until like 15,000 followers. I was just like balancing a shoe on like a countertop and then just putting my phone up there, which was just lazy. But like now I've got a tripod, it's great. But then obviously now I have a filmmaker instead, so.
We shot
just-
each other a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like we're together a lot, so we shoot each other, but yeah, tripod.
And you're always phone like landscape.
No.
I'm on the portrait because I only just like started, the filmmaking kind of.
I even get Cody to film this way as well on the camera, like for a lot of the shots as well, because like I've only just started shooting for YouTube. But yeah, again, like if you're shooting for long form, then you break it down to short form. Sometimes when I crop it to try and make it vertical, it doesn't really work. So sometimes I just shoot full vertical.
Yeah, true.
Alright. Any other questions?
Yeah, you probably already addressed it, but like if you're doing top of funnel to get more eyes in, you're just gonna slam trial reels, right? Is there a reason why you don't just focus on that?
Yeah, so the trial reels have actually just recently gone through a change, but yeah, the majority of my trial reels are actually just like my best performing storytelling piece of content. Because like I said, storytelling can kind of hit like in a way all three funnels. Like the one that I have pinned, like the My Journey one, is probably my most oftenly used trial reel because of the follower retention I got from the video. Like you can put top of funnel content out there, but you should only be putting top of funnel content in your trial reels if they are a piece of top of funnel content that converted followers. Like the whole idea is to like bring as many followers to your page as possible because it's only going out to non-followers. So for that, even though the My Journey isn't directly top of funnel, it was still the best like follower retention video, if that makes sense. So you always want to look at your analytics and go find which like video that you guys have posted have given you the most followers. You should make a bank of those in like your phone or like the folder, and then run those as trial reels. Obviously now with the changes to trial reels, you need to go into the original video and change something before you do it, but that's the best way to utilize trial reels right now.
So you'd always be pumping like top of funnel, but you'd always sort of be cycling between middle and bottom?
Yeah, like I experimented with trial reels, and obviously like they're ever changing, but the majority of the time it was a lot of top of funnel just because I knew like non-followers, they just want to be entertained like that, and obviously I'm bringing them to the page where they're seeing my journey and they're seeing the middle of funnel stuff. So like for me, top of funnel content was most important in trial reels with like the My Journey sprinkled in. But like never really bottom of funnel content in trial reels because the people don't know you.
No,
so it's like why would they like be
It's
ready
like
to
if
buy
you
from
had
you if they're
yeah.
completely non-followers? It should be top of funnel content sprinkled in with some middle of funnel that's like engaging.
But it's the same as the sales process. You wouldn't just go pitch them if they
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck you do.
Yeah.
I think you just keep it super simple. Get a video that does well. Noel had that one with him talking about his dad. That's doing well. He's ripping that only on trial reels. It's getting him followers. I think like whatever video is getting you followers on your normal page, just do the same on trial reels.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck between which way to film. Okay, I know, I
Well,
got the DJI or
This
DJI.
just camera just
DJI film landscape and
Yeah.
camera, but if you're shooting on the phone, shoot vertical.
Okay.
Depends also like what you want to position. Like Reed has this. So like this is a rare video for you to post this way.
it is.
Like all his content is like
You
this.
probably have 30,000 followers by now. If
They're
you
both
actually
really
learn
sick.
how to
That's-
storytell. Now,
That's because we got the editor now.
what's
So
the
like
second good
it's part of the
storytelling
game.
getting
But
followers?
like show them the day in the life. Which one's the one that did really well for you? Is it
go on the
pinned?
main grid and then
Yeah.
These ones?
no, go on the main grid and scroll down. It should say like everyone. Like that's a good.
See how he sprinkles in the top of funnel here? And also carousels. This one.
No, it'll say
And
everyone.
he's also using the same.
Like this one here. Like this is a vlog.
This is off iPhone as well, isn't it?
This is an iPhone vlog.
Everyone
that
wants to
did
move to Bali until they realise this. For starters, if you're not awake at 5 a.m, you're already behind. Today was the earliest wake up for a while because the fellas and I were headed on a day trip. We arrived at the most elite cafe
Like
in
it's
the
just
world, which is one of my
upbeat, it's more
favourite
like
trips.
casual so
And
people
after
can
enjoying the
understand my
breakfast,
life.
we found ourselves
Like
at
it's
the
not
edge of a cliff
directly
where we
saying what I'm
disrespectful
doing.
to not try it. We then hopped back on the bikes and messed around for a while.
where's
Heading
that
back to
cliff
Bamboo's
jump?
legit. We joined up
Yeah,
with
no, it was
the
actually really- that's a
least
fun
structured
cliff
workout
jump
session I've
session.
ever had. Which
Also have to look at like the angles of shots.
Everyone wants to move to Bali until they realise living here is so good you'll never want to leave. See you tomorrow.
See, he says see you tomorrow is his CTA. So people are like, oh, I'll see you tomorrow. Where I use like a curiosity question at the end of mine, where it like leads them into the next one, like, will this happen? So it's like kind of really how you want to position it at the end of the day.
So much to learn. With the trial reels, you just repost the same thing, same caption. With the trial.
I did, not until anymore.
Yeah, now you need to go in and change your original video like as of last week. Like you used to be able to just duplicate your best performing videos and just repost them like as much as possible.
Yeah.
And like as time has gone on, they've kind of cracked down more on what you can do with trial reels. So now it's like, as of last week, it's kind of a stitch up. You need to go into whatever your software is, change something in there, otherwise the algorithm will recognize that as the same video and it will literally cap it at like 300 views. When in reality, your trial reels could be pulling like.
So you have to change it a little bit otherwise we'll register.
Yeah. Like thing is, you can still post it and everything. It just will do nothing. It'll get like 200 views.
No,
It'll get nothing.
I still think like if you're not new to posting trials, I think if you've posted consistent trials, the same video for an extended period of time, that's when the algorithm catches on. But like Noel is ripping the same video every day of because he's just got access to trials and it's pumping for him. So I really think it's like how many times you post that trial and if the algorithm catches on. Where for me, like I have to rip different.
They're making changes to it really, really often, right?
Same description, or you change books and stuff?
No, like the caption stuff stays relatively similar for me. It's like
Yeah.
realizing I need to make the biggest changes by going in and changing
mine
like,
was
the
the
original
exact
one.
same.
Just to be safe with
Right.
it not registering as the same thing.
Are you like, so are you testing on your main page and then if it's good there, running it on the trial reels, or can you do both, either like testing?
You
on
can do
trial
both.
reels?
You can do whatever. I normally don't even like display my. I just post trial reels and like leave them there. I never like kind of cross over. Like trial reels are one thing for me, and like my main posts are another thing.
I trial top of funnel content on trial reels. That's my kind of method.
Yeah. Because
like-
that makes more sense. Like,
Yeah. It's also just like super easy to make. Like, bro, I can make a top of funnel content in 30 minutes. I'll crank out five a day, just new videos, and like some perform super well. And like for me, I know because I've studied the analytics. Like once the trial reel video gets over 10k views, then I know it's gonna perform on my page, and all those ones have just then like got reboosted by people following me and just boosted back.
Thanks, brother.
So I have a question. I mean, there's lots of formats you can make, like from the top of funnel content, like YouTube blogs or more authority blogs. Also, it's like lots of things to make.
Yeah.
So it's like how I prioritize all these types of content to say, okay, amazing, I can do maybe a blog and then upload like little cuts of it with, I don't know, like B-rolls on top. Or I should like stack lots of top of funnel content and then like, well, should you do that?
Well, it kind of depends on like the goal that you want to achieve, right? Like if you want to just gain followers a lot faster, then like top of funnel is going to be better for you. But if you want to just convert more, then like you're going to have to make that middle of funnel content that solves like the problem of the people that you're reaching. Like, and in terms of just gaining followers, which like it might be like a primary goal for you, I think a documentative series and a My Story are going to be like everybody's best friend to just like pulling followers in the door. Like everyone should make a My Story, have it pinned, and once you have it there, then you can start a documentative series as well to just consistently bring more people in that are following goal and they're dialed in with your story. Like those two pillars right now are like absolutely key. You sprinkle in a little bit of middle funnel in there, perfect setup.
Like our guy Isaac, who we're staying with, he was been posting for like 4 months, and he was at like 300 followers, and he moved in with us 2 days ago. We made him a My Story video, and I think he got him like 500 followers overnight. And it's just because it's relating on a very personal level. We showed him like the structure that he needs for the storytelling, because it is structured, as we mentioned here, and it just hit a really good audience. And it only had 30k views, but 500 followers is like
It's the fastest
4x
turnaround
is
for
fine.
content, like for effort. Like if you like spend a few days making a few pieces of storytelling content that are actually good and like, you know, reviewed by someone who's done it before and knows how to optimize it, like you can literally go like that. Like I brought on some client, like 0 followers on a fresh account, and literally all I did with her, because she didn't have an offer, was make storytelling content. She got to 5,000 followers in 3 weeks, purely just off telling stories. Like there was literally nothing else, and now she can build an offer and pivot relating to other things. But storytelling content, peak across all niches, across, you know, any business model. I think it's important to have.
That's why
storytelling.
Alfie talks about it now as well, because he sees the trend in it. So Alfie's built his account off like virality, it's because he's just thick skin shredded. I think like now he's like doing like talking head and like storytelling content to more like connect.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, fellas. Oh, no, one more question. and then that's it, fellas.
I also have one.
Okay, 2 more questions.
Do you think this will continue or the algorithm will shift?
I think it'll continue. I think it'll only get better if I'm honest, like storytelling. Like I'm seeing it every day. I keep thinking like, is this still gonna work? Like my new clients and stuff. Like I put them on a storytelling video, they grow. It's like obviously I'm just gonna keep running it until it stops. But I don't see it stopping because like it hits every pillar. Like it's engaging for people. You can provide value. You show that you're authentic and a real person. Like I don't really see it phasing out for any reason at all.
For example, for me, I feel, and this is a question also to Finn, to you guys. So my account, I feel like has been dying the last 2 weeks, and I can fix that. But I feel like I need kind of to document my journey, like a series. But you know, I also need to keep the credibility from us, you know, running a private networking group like the founder, and you know, bringing high-level entrepreneurs together. I want to keep that credibility. But for example, I had an idea actually today when you guys were talking about, and I'm gonna be quite open. So for example, 3 years ago, my family like saved up like a bunch of money to go on a big family trip because we never left Portugal. And like 2 days before the trip, my mom like had a heart attack, so we ended up not going on that trip to the Dominican Republic. So now I was thinking to document my journey, like in less than 5 months, I'm gonna buy like all my family a trip to the Dominican Republic, and I'm gonna pay for all the trip. Do you think that would be a good idea to bring like, because from my point of view, when people see Bruno, I want them to see like, he talks about brotherhood, very family oriented, like freedom. But I'm afraid that if I do that, maybe I'm gonna start attracting those people that just want to retire their parents. I don't know.
Do you know Nelson?
Yeah, Nelson.
Yeah, so he killed his account with too many CTAs, and now look, he's grown 6K followers in like 2 days because he's brought back the relatability through the storytelling content, him documenting the journey of him buying his granddad, I think, or uncle a Ram.
Okay.
And like he's still making deals, still closing deals. Like he put on a story yesterday, made 5K.
Yeah.
So I don't think it credentializes anything. I think it creates more personality.
Like you're human.
Just have a bigger like goal. Because if you're worried like, oh, you're
Or is I let
gonna
it piss myself?
Yes.
like,
I'm gonna pee myself.
lose your authority by like
Bro, I'm
doing such a
gonna pee
small
myself.
goal.
I had to
Like,
leave
just the
during the
different